Yes, YouTube, we're in for another exciting video today. 4 weeks out from PCA Wolves, which I'm buzzing for now. 2 weeks out from the team photo shoot with SS Sustain and 3 weeks out from team training workshop. April's turning out to be an extremely busy month, but a very productive one. Obviously rolling into summer, the weather's just started to get absolutely spot on, which is really nice. But we're in for a full day of eating today, just to see what it's like for you guys, what it takes to be on prep. Calories aren't too low at the minute, 2,700 on a training day, 2,400 on a rest day. So it's still manageable, but it's manageable because we're eating the right foods. It's manageable because protein's kept high for satiation. We're eating foods that are easily digestible. Meal timings have to be absolutely spot on, and we're ensuring food around the training window is also prioritized in order to keep energy high for training. So it all depends on what you eat, but you want to be looking at food that's going to be easily digestible, like I said, food that's going to keep you full for longer periods of time. So whether that's just easily digestible carbs, plenty of veg, that type of thing, just to keep you full for long periods of the day. You then want to be prioritizing other little things such as water intake, right? Again, very, very important for satiety throughout the course of the day. So yeah, this is a staple breakfast of mine leading into meal one. Right, we've got Quaker Oats, 80 gram of Quaker Oats this morning, 85% dark chocolate, we've got 15 gram, we've got 100 gram frozen strawberries, and we've got 40 gram of whey. A tip that you need to be doing with your whey protein, if you're having it as a paste, always go a couple of gram up, because obviously when you're mixing it, some gets stuck in, so just make sure that you do get the 40 gram of protein in there. And then I've got two little cheats, right? So morning coffee, salted caramel flavor syrups, 0 calories. And then we've got the skinny zero food caramel syrup to go over the oats as well. So a banging dish. How are we? Hope you are well. Hope you've had a good week so far, mate. Thank you very much for your check-in. Very much appreciated. Mate, we're coming in on the money. I think if we've got to be absolutely realistic right now, mate, I think where you are in a position of a physique and data, what we're seeing in terms of recovery with it being 2 weeks out, mate, you're looking absolutely on point, right? This is the sort of photo that you're going to be getting on the day, right? You're going to be pumped. So this is giving us a good look of the kind of outcome that we're going to be expected right now. So very, very vascular. We're sitting at that easily, comfortably about 8% body fat, probably less, right? But look how full we are as well. These shots here, mate, are absolutely magnificent. But we're in a fantastic spot, so I'm happy with where we're at, and I think you should be too, and you just need to realise that. Yeah, beautiful. Shoulder position is absolutely spot on. You can see there that it's fixed. All we're doing there is just driving that elbow down into the pocket. I think slightly leaning over as well, which you've got there, the hand position over the top of the pad. That'll allow you to shorten that pocket. It'll allow you to really dig deep and just get the elbow behind the rib cage, which is good. Good. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with having a touch as well when you're on a unilateral movement such as this lat pull down, the prime one. If you want to touch it with the other hand just to get that last rep in, you're more than welcome to do that, just because we want to get that last rep behind the midline of the body. But a very, very good set all in all in terms of intensity, accuracy and form. It's where we want to be. So not part of the YouTube video, but check out the new baby. She's a beauty. Not materialistic in the slightest, but treating myself to a new T-Rock. So yeah, just about to get in the baby and go for a session now after doing some check-ins and head to the gym. So that's it with meal one, and first block of check-ins have gone down. Bit of a difficult one this week. I'm not sure what to actually train today. The reason being is because I've had an ongoing back injury since literally the age of 21. I've done my L5 disc twice. And then on Friday when I was at work, freak accident, my facial joint, I think it's called, it like popped out of place. So weird, but it was like rubbing against my disc. So I've been in agony since then. They popped it back in at the osteopath, which was a relief, but also so painful at the same time. So I've been able to train a few things since then, but I can't do anything back related. I was meant to be going to play golf actually today in Liverpool, but I can't do that either. Which is probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest. So I'm going to head to the gym now. Obviously, I'm going to get some steps in on the treadmill. I'm going to do some Stairmaster as well, just to get some cardio in. But this week I've done push. I did pull at the start of the week, which is good. So at least I've got one pull session in. I wasn't able to do legs on Thursday, so I just did bike pretty much. And that was literally it, because that was pretty much when I did it. Not Friday, I think I said it was on Thursday. Friday I had off. And then yesterday I trained with one of my clients and we did arms and delts. So I'm just stuck on what to actually train today, to be honest. Obviously I've done a little, I'm not honestly sure. We're just going to go there and see what we can do. If I could do a little bit of upper back, maybe that, just to keep things ticking over alongside of it, because I don't want to just do some cardio. I want to keep my muscles nice and full. But again, I've got to be so cautious of my back. It's just one of those things. But yeah, pre-workout. So at the minute, we're just working with one square bar, and we're working with a bagel and 20 gram of jam. So high glycemic index, which means they're fast acting, which means that I can literally have them like 15, 20 minutes before the gym. They're going to get straight into the blood system, right? They're going to be very, very useful for a good amount of carbohydrates to go into the system for my training session. That's literally all I need. I don't even take pre-workout. I've never been a fan of it. I honestly prefer a good carbohydrate meal, just to keep me ticking over. And then I've got my intra-workout as well. 5 gram of creatine, salt and essential amino acids. I honestly think with them two combined, that's all I need for a good intensity workout. Like, I honestly don't feel like I need a pre-workout on top of that. Whether it's stim or non-stim, I honestly just don't get on with it. So yeah, we'll be having these, and then we'll head to the gym, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to train. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll record a little bit of the gym as well, so you'll be seeing that. But yeah, let's head to the gym. So that's the gym done. Honestly, it was almost like a full body workout today. I did a few pull-ups to start, just to see how my back was, which was actually okay. And then I did some nitro seated rows, bilateral, just to see how my back was. Very, very light, very controlled. I was literally doing a 3-second eccentric, 3-second concentric, just to see how my back was. And it actually felt okay, to be fair. Then did a little bit of leg work in regards to obviously missing my leg session the other day, which again was actually alright. And then just some arms at the end to finish. And then just 30 minutes on the treadmill, 30 minutes on the stairs to finish. So steps pretty much done for the day, cardio done for the day, and now we're in for a post-workout, which has changed. I shop at Lidl. I'm not a fancy shopper. I really don't see the point in it. I think Lidl's literally just around the corner from where I am, so why would I not go there? You can get it's convenient. It's really, and it's actually really good for me, I believe. The reason that I'm on these at the minute is simply because I've been having Cocoa Pops for such a long period of time, right? Replenish glycogen stores, cereal's really good for that. The macros are pretty similar from these to Cocoa Pops, so just a swap for a little bit of enjoyment. No longer with milk, so it's just 30 gram of whey protein with some water chucked on top of them, and it's actually really, really nice. That combination is really good. So we'll have this straight back into work block 2, and then yeah, back into a full day of eating after that. So we've still got like 3 meals to go after this, which will be spaced out. It's now 1 o'clock, so I'll probably have my lunch at about 2:30. Next meal at about 5, 5:30, and then I'll have my dinner at about 8 o'clock. So nicely spaced out, 3 hours in between, keeps me satiated throughout the day, keeps me full. Don't really have too many cravings if I'm timing my meals that way. Obviously I alter it a little bit different on weekends, just because when I'm not at work with my full-time job, I'm able to obviously put a lot more time and effort into my coaching side of the business, my physique, how I'm going in terms of my stage prep. So my meals are a lot more on my own time, really. So yeah, we'll get this down and then fall back into some check-ins. So meal 3 is a staple, one that I've been having for a long period of time now. We've got chicken breast, we've got 80 gram of jasmine rice and 100 gram of tender stem. So the reason I have this is simply because it is tasty, right? Sriracha sauce on it, Himalayan salt on across all meals as well. So to keep this interesting, because a lot of people will not like the standard chicken, rice and veggies, to mix up your sauces, you can mix up the way you cook things in regards to like your chicken, you can mix up your veg. There's plenty of different ways to do it. Obviously mix up your seasoning as well. So for me, I've got a Texan Smokehouse barbecue spice on my chicken, which is banging. Obviously sriracha sauce goes well with pretty much anything as well. Himalayan salt always makes things really tasty, and it's good for blood flow, digesting purposes as well. And then 100 gram of tender stem. So for me personally, I enjoy this meal. I like routine. I think even when I reverse out and pretty much go into my off season, this is a meal that I'll pretty much be having. Probably swap the jasmine rice with about 400, 500 gram of potatoes, just to keep things a little bit more interesting. But in a diet, in a fat loss, especially during prep, this is perfect, because jasmine rice sits well, it digests really, really well. Chicken breast, probably one of your best lean meats in terms of protein intake. And then obviously you've got your veg as well, so for normal general health. So it's a perfect staple meal, and I don't live out of Tupperware, but the reason I'm having Tupperware while at home is, for me, cook batching is going to be much easier for me. It's time effective, keeps me on track, allows me to just get a meal out of the fridge, just warm it up. Like literally takes a couple of minutes, especially during busy periods. So a very, very useful and effective meal, and a tasty one as well. So yeah, I think what you've got in the kitchen is again a massive help for this. So for me, I batch cook my chicken in the oven. I can do it in the air fryer. If you're on potatoes, for example, you can batch cook a load of them. There's these things that you need to think about, even when you're in an off season, really, or if you're dieting or if you're busy, like a lot of people who will be watching this is try and be as effective as you can with your prep and with your food and your nutrition to try and save time, but also make sure that you're on track with your calories and macros, because the last thing you want to be doing is on the go rushing your foods, rushing your choices, because that's when poor decisions will come in. So yeah, for me this one's a banging meal, and I'll probably still have it even when I reverse out after this prep, even though right now I would absolutely love something like a foot long from Subway, but yeah, it's good. So yeah, we'll get this down. Meal 3, I believe, and then we've got 2 more to go in regards to that, and yeah, brace yourself for the last one because it's a banger. So into meal 4, we have one of the goats, one of the staples. Again, another meal that I've had for a while, although I do really miss having the granola in this because that just tops it off. But we've got 300 gram of ski yogurt, we've got 100 gram of blueberries, 10 gram of 85% dark chocolate, 10 gram of honey, and then the 0 cal caramel syrup as a little addition. So an absolutely banging meal. Again, tasty, keeps you full, very, very easy to digest, and one that is just so useful in a fat loss phase. A lot of people will probably have this meal later on at night. I prefer to have it in between my lunchtime meal and my dinner. I just feel like that's the time that either I've just stopped being busy from like check-ins or just finished work in the week. It's a good time to get a meal in for me because it's just before I train in the week as well. So for me, it's a good time. I'll have that about, in the week, I'll have that about an hour before training, and then alongside my squares and my bagel. And I just think it works so well. Whereas on a weekend, I'll have it now at like 5 o'clock, and then it just allows me to keep full then until my dinner. I think another point I wanted to make on this full day of eating was you need to pick foods that are enjoyable in a process, foods that you can stick to. People's diets are going to be different, right? So some people prefer a stricter approach, some people prefer a more flexible approach, some people like a little bit more flexibility on weekends if they've got an active social life with their partners or their friends. Whatever way you go about it, you need to enjoy the process that you're on, enjoy the nutrition that you're actually having. B, you need to be able to actually stick to it as well, and you need to actually be honest and transparent about what you're having as well, because they're areas that a lot of people just will not speak about, or they'll just completely wash that under the carpet. So you need to be very, very careful with the food choices that you're making and food that's actually going to help you towards your goals, but you need to enjoy your food as well. For me, I like a bit more of a stricter approach. Then when I'm in an off season or if I'm growing, I like a little bit more freedom, for example, with my dinners, where I can actually enjoy some food with my partner. But for a fat loss approach, I'm absolutely fine with eating the same meal. Even if I wasn't in prep or going for stage like I am now, if I was just in a normal fat loss position, I'd probably still stick to the same sort of regimented meals because I like routine. I like the meals. You'll see the later meal that I'm having, the prawn meal. That meal used to be mince, and I swapped it out because I just told Ben that I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So you've got to be completely honest with what you're having. So yeah, that's sort of the approach that I will be taking, and I always will. And that's what I'll say to my clients as well, is you need to enjoy the process, but you also need to be aware of the foods that you're eating, the quality of food that you're eating, and being able to actually stick to that as well. So yeah, meal 4, I believe. I'm getting lost with how many meals I've had. So meal 4, I believe, staple. So we'll tuck into this. Work block all done now. So yeah, we've got the Carabao Cup final to watch as well. So I'll be watching that while I eat this. So on to the next meal we go. So we're into the final meal of training day. We've got 250 gram of frozen prawns. We have 50 gram of jasmine rice and 100 gram of tender stem broccoli. Now, when it comes to an evening meal, when we're so busy with check-ins and workloads, and obviously partners and stuff like that, we need to be efficient with time in the evening. So if you haven't got one already, get yourself a rice maker. You can batch cook rice and steam your veg in here at the same time. Very, very useful, as well as obviously like your air fryers and stuff in the kitchen. Very easy way to batch cook your food. Again, air fryer, if you're having a mix between jasmine rice and potatoes, you can obviously switch between them. But what I'll be doing in here is batch cooking two meals. So I'll do my prawns fresh in the evening, just because they're frozen. It's better that way. 100 gram each of tender stem broccoli, so a 200 gram packet. We've got 50 gram portions that I could put in here with the rice. So I'll be getting 100 gram of that. Switch between 2 portions. So we'll just let that simmer for half an hour, let it steam, cook the veg at the same time. And then when that comes down to about a 10-minute timer, we'll be getting the prawns on. So not sure what spices or sauces we'll be using today, but mostly sriracha, probably in a fat loss phase, just because it's obviously low in calories and it's a really good taste in terms of actually ingredients that you can use with it. So we'll put these on, and then I'll show you the finished product at the end. So we're just cooking up the prawns now. We need to wait for the water to evaporate, usually about 8 to 10 minutes on this. So we're going to go for garlic granules, onion granules, and then we're going to go for the Texan Steakhouse as well, seasoning on there. So we'll let that simmer once they're on, and then obviously all of that is going on for the final meal of today, along with a bit of Himalayan salt on top as well with sriracha. Beautiful meal. I think we also need to give hats off to Karen for her dishes that she's been cooking up while I've been on prep. Cooking up an absolutely banging pasta dish while I'm on prep 4 weeks out is not the one. Cheers, babe. So that rounds off a full day of eating, 2,700 calories in the bank, 4 weeks out from prep. So nothing too exciting really on the meals. Obviously just very, very good in terms of volume, keeping me full. Good amount of protein, good carbohydrate sources, obviously good for digestion as well, but also keeping it tasty where we can. So yeah, hope you like the video. Obviously any comments, likes, subscriptions obviously go a long way as well. So yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next YouTube video.